Hi, here's the trainer tip for focusing in on that elephant exercise, raising your trunk. So the elephant is an exercise delivered at the end of the workout, and it's most commonly misdone. So we have Nicole here who knows how to do this exercise very well. We're gonna have her place her hands on their tow bar and stand on up. Why is this exercise commonly misdone? Because typically we set people up for lack of success. First, you want to think about that tow bar height. So if we're doing a round back position, if I have her bring her feet just about 1/3 from the bottom and she rounds her spine and places her hands here on the tow bar, you'll notice that if I just ask her to push those ribs up to the sky and round her back, beautiful job, that may be a position where what really works for her. Remember that you might just relax down. I'm going to lower this down for you. That if someone has more flexibility in their hamstrings, go back to that round back position, this may be where they want to be. I actually had a dancer though tell me, you know what, I'm always lengthened out and this is a very comfortable position for me. So when you take the tow bar, and I'm going to do this now, and raise it up, which actually shortens the hamstrings, which accommodates for someone who has tight hamstrings, it's harder for that person to initiate. So she was telling me this is the harder position. So I never try to give someone a position where, oh, lower down for people that are flexible, higher up for people that are inflexible, because you really need to figure out what works for that participant. Nicole here, I'm going to set her up. What do you feel the best at?
2 or 1.
2 or 1? Mm-hmm. She's flexible. So I'll put you at 2. And from here, we set the tow bar up for success. Now we talk about where do you tell someone to put their feet? She's in a rounded position here, and if I have her put her weight back onto her heels, lift her toes, and tell her, and just to give you an FYI, I'm going to give her an anatomy lesson. There you go. I was going to tell her those are her heels. Everyone does that in class, right? So I tell her to lift her toes and tell her to squeeze her glutes and press the glide board up the rails and then come back in. She's doing a great job with this. If she can come all the way back in, lengthening out those hamstrings and then pressing back, that's fantastic. I want to make sure that her body's staying very still up here, so you're really working on isolating the hamstrings and the lower body, and you're really trying to think about getting this torso to stay very steady. She's doing a really nice job demonstrating. However, some people may not be able to initiate from such a lengthened position with their hamstrings. You might accommodate for them on the tow bar height, but you might still need to tell them, I need to walk your feet back a little bit. So just take a step back. Now note, she then increases the distance of her hip extension. So now she's in greater hip extension. That may be harder for her then to initiate the movement pattern here, or it's easier for her to initiate, but the range of motion is really small because as soon as she gets further out, the lever's further away from her torso, and that requires more stability and strength. Do you sense that at all? Okay, you can actually articulate out the spine into a flat back position. That's fine too. Remember, you have a rounded position. You also have a flat or a straight back position. Flat back is where you really want to see that articulation of the spine, and the spine stays nice and neutral. And again, she's pressing the glide board up the rails, and then she's coming back in. So when you're initiating this exercise, think about the tow bar height. Think about where should I cue their feet. And know if I cue their feet up the glide board, I'm changing the relationship of the lever, meaning that I might make it, taking that lever and making it longer for the torso by increasing the amount of hip flexion. The other thing you want to think about, if the person's learning it and you know they have a little bit of decreased awareness and they're not quite sure and they like to really press out, remember that slide distance regulator is a wonderful tool to have on the machine that just can guide the glide board so they don't press too far out. Because I have seen people press with a lot of integrity, a lot of energy rather, press out, freak out, and run down the board because they get nervous that they can't control it. So that side distance regulator is a very nice tool to use when you're starting to initiate this movement with people.
Don't forget about your toes, and this is your heel.
She learned something today on the tip. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.